Welcome to Rat and Cat. I think one of the best things about living out in the country is also one of the hardest parts of living in the country, and that's having animals. All of our animals are working animals, and we just have chickens and goats, and usually cats and a dog. Um, but the hard part is there's always something happening to them because there's other wild animals out here. Most recently, we lost a whole group of chicks to a neighborhood dog, I think, and then we lost a cat, and I'm not sure what that was to, possibly a great horned owl, or it could have been coyotes, but I think it might have actually been an owl. And that is one of the hardest parts for us, and we've gone through a number of cats actually, and we'd kind of almost not like to have cats except for with a house and outbuildings. It's important to have a cat around just because, and especially with chickens, mice and rats can come around. Hence the name of this series here, Rat and Cat. There's always kind of a conflict going on of some sort, and a cat is just a really important part of living out in the country, in my opinion. And we always try to protect her and keep her safe, and yet we can't have her in the house at night because my father-in-law is allergic to cats, and we try to lock our cat up in the evening. And for the first almost year that worked, but then she just really got frustrated with that, so we had to let her roam free. And we came back from being away for a few days, and she was gone. Our neighbor had been taking care of her, saw her up until the day we returned, actually. But she just, in between that time that he saw her and the time we got home, something happened to her, and we were really attached to her. I might tell a bit more about that story some other time, but she was a cat we found around Christmas time. My wife did that. She'd been dumped along the road, and just as a baby kitten, just soaking wet. We brought her home, and she was just shivering, but she was so grateful for a home, and she was just always so friendly and always out there with us doing chores. And we're just really feel a big sense of loss right now with losing that cat. And we're looking at getting another cat, or maybe a couple cats. And one thing I'll never do is get a cat from the Humane Society or a grown cat again, because they don't know how to live here, and so their lifespan is even shorter. Some of them would take off, but I know others, something happened to them. And yeah, but that's just a hard part of life and living in the country. And that, cats in general have a tough time even living in town. There's a lot of enemies that they have in town. But stay tuned, and we'll see what we come up with. And share about your experience with your pets living in the country or city, and what you do to protect them. And please subscribe and leave your comments below.